I love your room. So you can sit here.
Tiffany invited some of the 90 Day Fiancé cast members to her room. Typically, the 90 Day cast members are hyped to be invited to anything because they don't get out much. The only cast members that didn't show up to Tiffany's room were Rob and Jennifer.
Who's here?
I'll get it.
Oh!
Unfortunately, when Chantel finds out that Usman is also coming to Tiffany's room, she puts on a sour face because she doesn't like that scamming rat from Nigeria. Tiffany, our favorite cast member, then tells the audience that she's a baby angel and she wants to hear all about the tea and the gossip from the other cast members, but she doesn't want any of the drama to involve her.
Your partner is here. What do you think about that?
That was my
She didn't
partner
tell you.
6.5 years ago. The whole problem with her was I bought and bought and bought. Like, I spent tons of money.
Tim's giving me a migraine. Let the record show that we're only on episode 1, and this is the 3rd time that he's talked trash about his ex Jennifer. Tim's been calling Jennifer a gold digger multiple times to many different cast members, painting her in a negative light to people that don't even know her. It's also a really tired and overplayed insult to be throwing someone's way because whether it's Chris, Gabe, or Tim, the reality of the situation is you chose to send this person money, if that is true, and Tim really sent Jennifer money. That is a choice that you made. Not to mention, I'm assuming the amount of money that you sent to Jennifer pales in comparison to the amount of money that you've made from going on all these TLC shows. You got your start from Jennifer, and you can try and paint her out as a user as much as you want, but it just makes you look worse because when you enter a relationship with a single mother in another country, you should pay for things because it's your responsibility as a man to take care of a woman. It's very apparent that despite being 44 years old, Tim acts like a gossipy 13-year-old girl, and he's very two-faced. He's the one that approached Jennifer, broke up her conversation with the side character to insert himself and basically say, you stay on your side of the resort and I'll stay on my side. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Tim, he's made an entire career on 90 Day Fiancé shows of entering relationships with Latin women and not having sex with them, to the point where the majority of fans assume that he's gay. His ex-partners have insinuated that he's gay, but if you call him gay or trans, he will hit you with Dr. Dre lyrics and go off the walls. He gets really bothered about that, and I'm not really sure why. He represents a femme weak man, which is why the network keeps renewing him on all these TLC shows, because they want to normalize his behavior. The craziest part is Tim doesn't need to go this route. He has a better personality than Jennifer does. Just be funny, tell some jokes, be yourself. You don't have to hyper focus on your ex and do the most to paint her in a negative light. Let the other cast members meet her and form their own opinion.
When you start sending money back,
But you know how it is. They make you feel like they're gonna not eat.
Wow, I can't believe that eyeliner Tim just said that. Hopefully Jennifer wasn't in that dire of a financial situation because some provider you are, buddy. If Tim actually did send Jennifer money, I say good. I would love to know the amount of money because I tried to find this on Google and it didn't pop up. But either way, a man is supposed to be a provider. So that actually is one of the few masculine things that Tim has done if he did in fact do that. If we open up our handy dandy 90-day history book, more often than not, it's usually the financial failures in our country that insinuate these foreign women are gold diggers when the relationship doesn't work out. Realistically, if they were gold diggers, they would have entered relationships with people that have money.
That's a load of dude.
But I can tell, well, I'm about done talking about it because this is gonna get in my head and I don't want to let her ruin my trip.
Anyways, you guys, Tim asked Holt what he thinks about May. He saw them talking for a long period of time.
Yeah, she's pretty interesting.
She's impressive.
She's from Macau.
I saw you guys talking and I was
She
like,
speaks 8 languages.
There's one thing I don't like.
why?
She's a vegan.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very intimate thing. Cooking for each other, enjoying a
Oh,
meal.
not for me. That's a chore.
Well, for me, it is. I like that. So
I hate
find
eating.
matching.
I'm the kind of guy that plans my days around my meals. I really look forward to eating food. But I'm also American Italian, so maybe it's because of how I grew up. Anyways, for Colt's point, I understand this because I wouldn't date a vegan either. As for May, I think her type is more finance, bro. I couldn't see her going for someone like Colt, but we're gonna have to see how this plays out.
She might like to 7 times a day like you, Colton.
Oh man, too funny. So Tim proceeds to tease Colt about how he enjoys having sex with his partner multiple times a day when he's in a relationship. It's normal to have sex multiple times a day. Is it normal to have sex 7 times a day? Colt responds to Tim that he has a healthy sex drive. Something funny happens next. Colt says that he can go 7 rounds, and Courtney says to the audience, 7 rounds with who? His computer? Tim then says to the audience, if Colt actually had sex 7 times a day, he would probably be in better shape, which true, but at the same time, it's rich to hear that from the guy that looks like Roger from American Dad. Maybe you should try having sex with the real life woman, Tim. I think Tim's being kind of mean right now, and Colt is not retaliating, which sucks. Like, he just says to the audience, I have a way better sex drive than Tim by a country mile. By all means, Colt, say it to Tim. He's the one with the big mouth that enjoys talking shit about everybody else.
All right, so I've got Porn Stash Guy. You've got May.
I'm TBD. I need more time, honestly. Like, I gotta loop.
I'm TBD. I guess Tim needs to spend more time with these hot singles to figure out who he wants to pursue. The next thing you know, Tim tells the present cast members that Usman thought that Chantel was really pretty until they had their little argument that I covered in my last video.
I just hate the way you approach me. Because I was having so much good vibe about you. I'm not saying like because like it's not about loving.
You
like
approached me like a little aggressive.
Ooh, I'm not surprised to see another lie come out of Chantel's mouth. She's becoming more like her mother every day, and it's sad to see. Usman didn't come at her aggressively at all. The reason why he was so persistent and inquisitive is because he's been told by other cast members that she's been talking shit about him. So he didn't understand why she was being so fake to his face instead of just being honest, you know, be authentic, be real, tell me what the problem is you have with me, and then maybe we can work things out. Usman goes on to say that he feels like Chantel had this negative perception of him before they met in real life. Courtney then intervenes and says, so Usman's mad because when I was hanging out with him in Istanbul, and remember you were like, oh, he's a scammer, so that's why he's butthurt. What a way with words Courtney has. Somebody get her another drink. She's only pretending to be dumb, you guys. Anyways, right now, Socks, the drama is really stirring up. Tiffany is probably smiling in the background because this is what our MVP wanted. She wanted chaos. So Usman grabs a hold of this opportunity and flat out asks Chantel why she would say that he's a scammer. I have every right to think he is a scammer. He did target Kim wanting a green card. If Usman's mission was to get a green card, he could have easily gotten one through Kim. Kim was the overly obsessed fan that reached out to Usman from the beginning. Who really targeted who? You know what I mean? They were a team and they made a lot of money, ripped a bunch of clout from going on their seasons of 90 Day Fiancé. She goes on to say, when we were at the masquerade party, he was telling Courtney that she was his #1 pick, yet he's telling Tim how beautiful I am. Those 2 points have nothing to do with each other. Courtney can still be his #1 pick. And at the same time, Usman, first impression, just looking at you, could think that you're a pretty woman. I get where your head is at. I think Usman's a bullshitter that tells women what he assumes they want to hear. And Courtney is the safest option because she's already interested in him. Even though he banged her out and ghosted her, she still wants to go along for another ride. Realistically for Chantel, I hope that she starts actually focusing on her own dating life and not involving herself in all of her friends' drama because it's counterproductive. Chantel adds, and Courtney needs some bullshit repellent. I don't trust him and I'm gonna look out for my friend. If Courtney ultimately is gonna choose to run back to Usman and make him her #1 pick at this resort, that's her choice.
I saw a bunch of things coming up on the internet about you being a scammer.
can believe anything on the internet.
The dictionary definition of scammer is as follows: a person who commits fraud or participates in a dishonest scheme. Guys, let me know in the comments if you think that Usman is a scammer or not.
I have this perception that I hate about how people see me because I come from Africa, right? I'm from the place where people see us like a scammer. But that's not what you need to invest on. You need to invest on what I say.
Funny that Usman's going for the route of, because I'm from Nigeria, so many people have spread these lies about me. They call me a scammer just because I'm from this place. That's not why. It's because you enter relationships with old ladies and tell them everything that you assume they want to hear, make them jump through all these hoops to be with you. But you don't actually have the intention of being with them long term.
I feel like this conversation, we need to have it when we're less tired or we're fully rested and we can like talk about it. And with that being said, I'm going my ass to sleep.
So as you can see, you guys, our MVP Tiffany has had her fill of drama for the evening. She kicks these cast members out of her room, and on the way out, Colt says to the audience, it has less to do with people thinking you're a scammer because of your country of origin and more to do with the fact that you keep entering relationships with older women. And Colt drops a funny line I've never heard: all cats are gray in the dark. Colt proceeds to throw another jab Usman's way. He says that he has a track record and it's old white women that give him PlayStations. Last scene we see of the first night at the resort, it shows Tim getting ready for bed, Usman getting ready for bed, and Colt is just naked. He sleeps in the nude, gets in his bed, and then it's the next day. So the next day we see Jennifer, the bane of Tim's existence, and she starts talking to the event coordinator. The event coordinator tells her,
so every day we have 2 options for you, what you can do. And for today, we have flirting 101 or the speed dating.
Sure is nice that every day the cast members are presented options. You know, they can pick whatever they feel comfortable with. Jennifer is confident with her flirting game. In fact, she already has different guys breaking their neck to look at her. Cole and Rob are already very interested in her, and they've communicated that to the audience numerous times. Jennifer then says something unexpected. She asked the event coordinator which option her ex Tim chose because she wants to avoid him at all costs. Honestly, I understand this. You know, Tim and Jennifer were both unaware that they would both be at the resort. They would be on the show. So she wants to avoid having a loaded conversation, especially because he's been talking trash about her for the past 6 years. And I'm sure that she hasn't had nice things to say about him for the past 6 years either. Unfortunately, the event coordinator communicates to Jennifer that Tim hasn't showed up yet, thus has not made his choice. So Jennifer says, okay, I better go with the speed dating with the twist. It's comedy that Jennifer wants to avoid Tim because most likely the producers and dating coaches are going to do the most to ensure that they're in the same group so that there's more loaded encounters and they can capture it on camera because the audience wants to see the drama. She also believes that Tim doesn't have a chance with any of the single women at the resort, which I agree with. She advises that he should stick to the flirting 101 because his game is almost non-existent. That boy's game is so low, he sucks.
Don't be fucking rude. Are you kidding me?
After Jennifer's all signed up for the speed dating, we see Rob and Usman having breakfast at the resort.
So how was the night?
It was good. It was an interesting night.
All right? Yeah.
They're talking, they're flowing. It seems like they're getting along great. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, Usman could be a new member of the 90-Day Bad Boys. You know what they should do one year for Halloween is be the Ginyu Force. You got Andre as Raccoon, Big Ed as Guldo, Rob as Jace, Jamal as Berta, and Josh as Captain Ginyu. That would actually crush.
Usman, I don't really know him very well, but like, I know Usman's past relationship with Kimberly because I'm close friends with her son, Jamal.
I really hope this happens, you guys, because Kimberly is like the team mom of their lip syncing group. So if Usman joined, Kim's probably going to be on set, and that would be really funny for them to run into each other after all this time. I'm curious how they would interact. I'm pretty sure, even though Kim communicated to the audience that she's done with Usman, she would never get back with Usman. Please. Like, the minute he looked her way, she'd be like, oh my God, is he flirting with me?
He seems like a good guy, but I've only ever known him to date cougars. So I'm curious as to why he's here, to meet all these young singles. He might have better luck at a retirement home.
It's funny because it's true. What a filthy line from Rob. Hopefully, even though Usman probably saw this clip, he's still open to a potential collaboration. Dude's like the Trippie Redd of Nigeria, so if they manage to recruit him, I'm sure that it would greatly improve their clap points and recognition around the world.
Yeah, so last night I see you. But I see with a lady. Can I call it like hook up? I don't know.
Just a kiss.
You can tell me. Tell me
It's
more.
just a kiss, man.
The minute she said, I want you to kiss me, in her cancer voice, you should have just given her the fist bump and moved on and said, I just want to be friends. I mean, any girl that's coming on you like that, not to mention she's telling all the other guys how much she loves anal, and not just communicating this to the other men and women, she's bragging about being a party yacht girl living in Miami. That's code word for stanky hook. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. You're 35 years of age. You need to stop thinking with your Johnson. You communicated to the audience of this show earlier in episode 1 that you're on this show to find a love connection. You want to find your soulmate. In what way, shape, or form did you show us that you want to find your soulmate through your actions? Anyways, Jennifer rolls up and right away, Usman and Rob perk up. They're very excited to be talking to her because they think that she's the hottest girl at the resort.
So what have you been up to this morning?
Actually, I put myself into a class and I choose speed dating.
Yeah?
You guys choose.
I'm supposed to do that.
Rob's playing it super cool right now, but internally he is pumped that Jennifer's doing the speed dating with the twist because he wants her to twist something else.
You too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going for dating 101.
The dating 101, yeah.
Oh, flirting, the flirting class.
So you can tell us what that's like.
Rob and Jennifer don't even realize right now, but they're about to miss a Soulja Boy Usman Umar live performance.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
You love me?
I love you, my baby Cassidy. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, my baby Cassidy.
Usman's aura farming right now so hard it's insane. He just met Cassidy and he already is telling her that he loves her via song. Colt thinks Usman's song is straight booty cheeks, which is true. Hopefully by the end of the season we can see these two dance battle because that was the funniest part of high school dances, when you got the weirdest kids in a circle to have a dance off.
Talking about relationship. So last night I was with Tim.
Usman tells Jennifer and Rob that last night he was in Tiffany's room with the other cast members, and Tim had a whole lot of negative things to say about Jennifer.
Was he talking some?
Yeah, he said a lot. He said a lot.
Jennifer explains to the guys that Tim's a big talker, but he needs to learn how to shut up because he's been talking trash about her for years. Usman then drops a bombshell on Jennifer, which is that Tim told them last night throughout their relationship he was financially supporting Jennifer and her family.
Yeah, I never received anything from him, like a couple of gifts, but that wasn't like he sent me money to support my family. That's bull. I'm always being independent. I've never need a man to support myself.
Things are really heating up. Socks, let me know in the comments what you think about this because this is a she said, he said situation. Right off the bat, I believe Jennifer more than Tim because if that really did happen, I would expect Tim to show receipts. He seems petty enough. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to ride this whole narrative of Jennifer's a gold digger until I see evidence of that, because so far from what I've seen, she hasn't entered relationships with guys that are that financially well off. Is she a gold digger, or does she just expect the guy to pick up the tab and be a provider? If you're not willing to spend money on a woman in a relationship, then don't enter relationships, because it's your role as the guy to make sure that your woman is looked after. And, you know, that involves occasionally buying your woman things or paying for things. And if you don't have money, you should be single. You should get your money up, get your funny up before you enter a relationship. So I just don't buy into this narrative that all these women are gold diggers. She's really frustrated. Tim is running his mouth and insinuating that she's a gold digger to the other cast members that don't even know her. Jennifer then communicates to the audience that this motivates her to play the same game as Tim because she knows a whole bunch of secrets that he wouldn't want anyone to know about.
We were mostly online dating. So when we met personally, we were a disaster.
Yeah, to add on to what she said, the minute they met up in real life, we all realized that they were a bad match. And it's actually a shame they invested so much time online because they had unrealistic expectations. They had a delusional image of what this person was going to be like. And then they met up in real life and said, ew.
Did you guys had anything sexually?
These two aren't familiar with the lore, so right now their head looks like it's about to explode because they can't understand why Tim would not have sex with Jennifer. Rob's the first to ask the question why Tim and Jennifer never had sex, and then she responded, he's a sexually freak. And I'm just thinking to myself, do you mean he's a sexual freak? What do you mean by that? She then tells Rob and Usman the tea, which is when they were together in Colombia, Tim took her to a strip club and paid a male stripper to dance on his woman.
And he paid to a guy to dance for me as he was watching. And I was like, what are you into?
Wait, you went to a men's strip club?
Yeah.
In the past, Tim has mentioned many times how he enjoys to share whoever he's in a relationship with other people, which is why I'm assuming he's alone at 44 years old, because anytime you do that, regardless of whether you buy into this mindset of sexual liberation and there's no consequences and it'd be so fun to explore, let's have a threesome, let's be swingers. It shows the person that you're in a relationship with that you don't care about them.
Stop.
Yeah, like a lap dance. And he was very excited about it. But like,
That was the most excited you saw him?
Oh, yeah, he was so excited.
He just likes weird.
To be fair though, Tim's side of the story is different, and he tells the audience that Jennifer left out a lot of context. For example, her old boyfriend, the ex, wasn't okay with her going to strip clubs. So Tim wanted to do something different because she's never experienced a strip club before. Thus why he took her to the strip club and got her a dance from a guy, a male stripper that worked there. It is very misleading for Jennifer to leave out the context of that particular situation, because obviously Tim took her to the strip club because he wanted to show Jennifer that he was different than her ex-boyfriend that she painted as controlling and jealous. Why would you want to see other people naked if you're in a relationship with someone in the first place?
He said that with his ex-girlfriends, he loved to go to swingers.
We knew this already. Rob goes on to say to the audience that he didn't watch their season, but Tim and Jennifer don't look like they go together at all. Plus, they never hooked up, so this is like Gino and Jasmine territory.
If he would let a guy give you a lap dance and he likes that he would let a guy
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
and he would watch.
that was so confusing. Like, are you trying to flirt with me, or are you trying to like throw me to other guys? Like, why are you?
Okay, I see why so many fans compare Jennifer to Jasmine, given how she acts. Also, Usman is cracking me up right now because look at his face. He is so revolted that that's a thing. There are dudes that get off by watching their women sleep with other guys. It's like such a foreign concept to him right now.
There are guys who enjoy watching their girl get by other guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Rob's Mr. Politically Correct. He says to the audience, I'm not going to judge Tim, to each their own, but I couldn't do it. Yeah, that scenario sounds like a true crimes documentary waiting to happen. If anyone cheats on you or wants to share you with another person, you should just break up with them and never talk to them again. That's something the TLC therapist won't tell you, but I will.
I have to get changed, so I hope to see you later.
All right.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
She's hot.
My Wet Socks, hope you enjoyed today's video, and thank you so much for your patience. I'm going to play catch up. We're going to get caught up on the show, The Hunt for Love. Comment below, subscribe. Let's be friends. Let's be friends.